Did Sylvester Stallone just blow up woke Hollywood? The legendary action star, known for his no-nonsense roles and tough guy persona, is making headlines again. But this time, it's not for a blockbuster movie. Stallone has taken a stand, calling out what he sees as the absurdity of woke culture in Hollywood. And let's just say he's not holding back. In a time when the entertainment industry is all about walking on eggshells, Stallone is bulldozing through with a message that's shaking Tinseltown to its core. From his bold critiques on political correctness to his fiery comments on the direction of modern filmmaking, Stallone is unapologetically taking aim at what he sees as the industry's downfall. But what did Stallone really say? Why is he so fired up? And could this be the beginning of the end for woke Hollywood? Today, we're diving into the top 5 explosive truths about Stallone's stand against Hollywood's latest obsession. Trust me, you don't want to miss this. Question 1. What did Stallone actually say about woke culture? First up, let's break down exactly what Sylvester Stallone said that's got everyone in Hollywood talking. Stallone, never one to shy away from controversy, recently took aim at what he calls woke culture in Hollywood. In a series of fiery interviews and bold public statements, the iconic action star didn't mince words about his frustration with the current state of the entertainment industry. Stallone started by addressing the rise of political correctness in film and television. He argued that Hollywood's obsession with being ultra-sensitive is killing creativity and stifling genuine storytelling. According to Stallone, the industry has become more focused on checking boxes than telling compelling stories that resonate with audiences. In his typical no-nonsense style, Stallone didn't hold back. He criticized the industry's shift towards what he sees as a watered-down version of filmmaking, one that prioritizes not offending anyone over creating powerful, authentic narratives. And he didn't stop there. Stallone even took a playful jab at the pronoun debate, saying, "You know what my pronoun is? It, as in it can't take this bleep anymore." That line alone set the internet on fire. Social media exploded with reactions, some cheering Stallone for his blunt honesty, while others criticized him for being out of touch with the changing times. But love him or hate him, there's no denying that Stallone knows how to make a statement, and he's not done yet. In his latest series, Tulsa King, Stallone didn't just stick to making jokes. He used his character to deliver a sharp critique of the woke culture he sees as taking over Hollywood. Through satire and humor, Stallone tackled everything from political correctness to social media obsession, showing that he's not afraid to use his platform to speak his mind. Stallone's stance is clear. He believes Hollywood has lost its way, and he's not afraid to call it out. Whether he's poking fun at the absurdity of pronoun debates or criticizing the lack of creative freedom in today's film industry, Stallone is making one thing very clear: he's not about to back down. But why is Stallone taking such a bold stand? What's driving him to speak out now, after all these years in the business, and what does he hope to achieve? Stick around, because in our next segment, we're diving into the reasons behind Stallone's explosive comments and what they mean for Hollywood's future. Question 2. Why is Stallone taking such a bold stance? So why is Sylvester Stallone taking such a bold stance against woke culture in Hollywood? Why now, after decades of being a Hollywood icon? To understand Stallone's motivations, we need to take a closer look at his career, his personal values, and his experiences in the ever-evolving entertainment industry. First and foremost, Stallone is a man who has always valued authenticity and resilience. From the very beginning of his career, he has portrayed characters that embody the spirit of the underdog, characters like Rocky Balboa and John Rambo, who fight against the odds and stay true to themselves. For Stallone, these roles are more than just entertainment, they're a reflection of his own journey and beliefs. Back in 1977, when Stallone first created the character of Rocky, he was responding to a Hollywood that, in his words, had lost touch with the values that made movies great. He felt that films had become cynical, lacking the heart and spirit that once inspired audiences. So he decided to write a story that would bring back the spirit of classic films from the 40s and 50s. A story that was all about grit, determination, and the power of the human spirit. And those themes, resilience, determination, staying true to one's values, have remained at the core of Stallone's work ever since. Fast forward to today, and Stallone sees a Hollywood that, in his view, has once again lost its way. He believes that the industry's focus on political correctness and woke culture is diluting the essence of what makes movies powerful. To him, it's like a repeat of the 70s, but with a modern twist. Stallone's critique isn't just about the films themselves. It's about the freedom to create without being constrained by rigid social norms. He argues that when filmmakers are more worried about not offending people than telling an honest story, the art suffers. He's concerned that this trend toward excessive sensitivity is stifling creativity and preventing filmmakers from taking risks, exploring complex themes, and challenging audiences in meaningful ways. But Stallone's motivations go beyond just artistic freedom. They're also deeply personal. Having spent decades in Hollywood, he's seen firsthand how the industry can chew up and spit out those who don't conform. He's watched as talented artists have been sidelined or shunned for their beliefs, and he's not willing to let that happen to him or to anyone else who dares to be different. For Stallone, it's about standing up for what he believes in, even if it means going against the grain. He's always been a maverick, both on screen and off, and he's not about to let anyone tell him how to make his movies or what he can and can't say. As he put it in a recent interview, "I won't have a bunch of granola moms and their soy boy husbands telling me what I can and cannot do on my set." Stallone's stand is also about preserving the values that he believes made America and Hollywood great. Whether it's patriotism, family, or just good old-fashioned common sense, Stallone wants to remind audiences of the things that really matter. In a world where he feels these values are being overshadowed by trendy social issues, Stallone is doubling down on his commitment to the principles that have guided his career from day one. So why is Stallone taking such a bold stance against woke culture? Because for him, it's not just about movies, it's about standing up for artistic freedom, staying true to his values, and pushing back against a culture that he believes is heading in the wrong direction. And whether you agree with him or not, there's no denying that Stallone's voice is one that can't be ignored. But how has Hollywood reacted to Stallone's bold statements? And what does this mean for the future of the industry? Stick around, because in our next segment, we're exploring the fallout from Stallone's stand and what it could mean for the world of entertainment. Question 3. How has Hollywood reacted to Stallone's statements? So how has Hollywood reacted to Sylvester Stallone's fiery critique of woke culture? Let's just say the responses have been as explosive as one of his action movies. From fans cheering him on to critics calling him out, Stallone's statements have sparked a firestorm of reactions across the entertainment industry. First, let's talk about the supporters. Many fans and industry insiders have praised Stallone for speaking out against what they see as an overreach of political correctness in Hollywood. They applaud his courage for standing up for creative freedom and pushing back against a culture they feel is becoming too restrictive. To them, Stallone is a breath of fresh air in an industry that's increasingly afraid to take risks. Supporters argue that Stallone is voicing a sentiment that many in Hollywood feel, but are too afraid to express publicly. They see him as a champion of the artistic integrity and freedom of expression that they believe are under threat in today's climate. And let's face it, it's not every day you see a Hollywood star willing to take on the establishment this directly. But of course, not everyone is cheering. Stallone's comments have also drawn significant criticism from those who believe his views are out of touch with modern values. Critics argue that Stallone's stance against woke culture reflects a resistance to change and a lack of understanding of the importance of inclusivity and diversity in today's society. Others have pointed out that Stallone's comments come at a time when the entertainment industry is grappling with its own legacy of exclusion and discrimination. They argue that the push for political correctness and woke culture is a necessary response to decades of underrepresentation and marginalization, and that Stallone's critique ignores the positive changes that have come from these efforts. But it's not just Hollywood insiders who have weighed in on the debate. The general public has also been divided over Stallone's statements. Some viewers see him as a hero for daring to speak his mind, while others see him as out of touch with the changing world. It's a classic case of old-school values versus new-school ideals, and the debate is far from over. But it's not just Hollywood insiders who have weighed in on the debate. The general public has also been divided over Stallone's statements. Some viewers see him as a hero for daring to speak his mind, while others see him as out of touch with the changing world. It's a classic case of old-school values versus new-school ideals, and the debate is far from over. Even some of Stallone's fellow actors have chimed in on the controversy. While a few have openly supported his stance, others have been more cautious, expressing concern over the potential backlash and the need to find a balance between artistic freedom and social responsibility. It's clear that Stallone's comments have struck a nerve, raising important questions about the direction of the industry. And that brings us to the heart of the matter. Could Stallone's actions actually change the industry? Is this the start of a new movement in Hollywood, or just a fleeting controversy? In our next segment, we'll dive into the potential impact of Stallone's bold stance and what it could mean for the future of filmmaking. Question 4. Could Stallone's actions change the industry? So could Sylvester Stallone's bold stance against woke culture really change Hollywood? Could the actions of one of the industry's biggest icons inspire a shift in how films are made and how stories are told? Let's take a closer look at what's at stake and what could happen next. First, let's talk about the power of influence. Stallone isn't just any actor, he's a Hollywood legend, with a career spanning over 5 decades and a loyal fan base that stretches across the globe. When someone of Stallone's stature speaks out, people listen, and his recent comments have certainly grabbed the attention of the industry and the public alike. Stallone's critique of woke culture taps into a broader debate that's been brewing in Hollywood for years. On one side, there are those who believe that the industry has become too focused on political correctness at the expense of creativity and artistic freedom. On the other, there are those who argue that the push for inclusivity and diversity is essential for reflecting the world we live in today. And now, Stallone's words have added fuel to this already fiery conversation. But could Stallone's actions really lead to change? It's possible. In recent years, we've seen a growing number of actors, directors, and producers speaking out about the need for more freedom in storytelling and less interference from social agendas. Stallone's comments could encourage others to do the same, sparking a movement towards a more open and diverse range of voices in Hollywood. However, any real change would likely require more than just words. It would take a collective effort from the industry's power players to push back against the current norms and to create an environment where all stories can be told without fear of censorship or backlash. Stallone's stance could be the catalyst for that effort, but it's going to take more than one man to turn the tide. Another factor to consider is the potential impact on the box office. Stallone's comments have already resonated with a significant portion of the movie-going public, many of whom feel similarly about the state of the industry. If these audiences begin to vote with their wallets, choosing to support films that align with Stallone's views on creativity and storytelling, we could see a shift in what types of movies get made and how they are marketed. Of course, it's also possible that Stallone's actions could backfire. Hollywood is known for its tight-knit community, and going against the grain can sometimes lead to backlash or isolation. If Stallone's comments are seen as too divisive, or if they alienate key stakeholders, it could make it harder for him and others who share his views to get projects greenlit. It's a high-risk, high-reward scenario, and only time will tell which way the chips will fall. Ultimately, whether or not Stallone's actions lead to real change will depend on how the industry responds and whether others are willing to join him in his fight for what he believes is the future of filmmaking. It's a pivotal moment for Hollywood, and Stallone has certainly made his mark. But the story isn't over yet. There's still a lot to play out. So could Stallone's actions change the industry? The answer is a resounding maybe. He's opened up a conversation that's long overdue, and he's got people talking. Whether that conversation leads to lasting change or just a few headlines remains to be seen. But one thing's for sure: Hollywood will never be the same again. Question 5. Is this really the end of woke Hollywood? So is this really the end of woke Hollywood? Has Sylvester Stallone's bold stand against political correctness sparked a new era in the entertainment industry? Or is it just another flash in the pan? Let's dig into what this could mean for the future of Hollywood. First, let's be clear. Hollywood is no stranger to controversy and cultural shifts. Over the years, the industry has seen its fair share of debates, from the rise of the studio system to the impact of the Sign Me Too movement. And each time, Hollywood has evolved, adapting to the changing landscape of society and culture. So, could Stallone's critique of woke culture be another turning point? It's possible, but it's not that simple. On one hand, Stallone's comments have certainly struck a chord with many who feel that Hollywood has lost its way. His critique resonates with those who believe that the focus on political correctness and social agendas is stifling creativity and compromising the quality of storytelling. For these viewers, Stallone's stand represents a call to return to the roots of filmmaking, where stories are told boldly, without fear of backlash. However, it's important to remember that Hollywood is also an industry driven by trends, audience demand, and the bottom line. While Stallone's comments have generated significant attention and sparked a lively debate, they are just one voice in a much larger conversation. And that conversation is far from one-sided. Many in Hollywood believe that the push for inclusivity, diversity, and political correctness is not just a trend, but a necessary evolution. They argue that reflecting a wider range of voices and experiences is essential for creating a more equitable and representative industry. For these individuals, the rise of woke culture isn't about censorship. It's about progress and giving a platform to those who have been historically marginalized. So, does Stallone's stand mean the end of woke Hollywood? Probably not. While his comments have certainly made waves, it's unlikely that one actor's opinions will single-handedly dismantle a cultural shift that has been building for years. Hollywood's journey towards inclusivity and representation is a complex and ongoing process, and it's not something that will be easily reversed. However, that doesn't mean Stallone's actions won't have an impact. By speaking out, he's opened up a conversation that many feel is long overdue. A conversation about the balance between artistic freedom and social responsibility, and about the role of entertainment in reflecting and shaping society. It's a debate that will continue to evolve, and Stallone has certainly added a powerful voice to that discussion. In the end, whether or not Stallone's stand marks the beginning of a new era in Hollywood, one thing is clear: the industry is at a crossroads as it grapples with questions of representation, creativity, and freedom. Hollywood will need to find a path forward that respects its rich history while embracing the diverse future that lies ahead. And who knows, maybe Stallone's bold comments will be just the spark needed to ignite that change. So is this the end of woke Hollywood? Not quite, but it's definitely a chapter worth watching. Whether you agree with Stallone or not, there's no denying that he's stirred the pot and gotten people talking. And in an industry where conversation and controversy often lead to evolution, that's something worth paying attention to.